Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Bashem Abishai Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the hopeful elect that are out there, to the confusion of face brothers joined unto our ranks. The few Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I give a sincere and hearty Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And a couple videos that I'm going to be profiling, about 3 or 4 maybe different videos, starting with this one with Christopher Green from American TV, AM TV. And the name of the video is Breaking Trump Sanctions Iran, Oil to Skyrocket. And like I said, saber rattling, chess pieces and pawns being moved around the globe, all bringing us up to this third world's war. All right. But the truth be said that this guy here, he thinks that, everything is going to go on after this. No, it's not, because he'll talk about the Antichrist and Jesus Christ and all this other stuff. But then he also speaks as if America's still going to be around 20 years from now. This is the war that's going to end all wars. There will be no more America. There will be no more governments of men. The only government that's going to be on the earth is when the new heaven comes down. A new earth and a new heaven. And that new governing body is going to be the government set up by who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. Yahweh Shai, who is the Lord King over everything, power given unto him from his Father on high, our Father Yahweh. His government is going to be set up here on earth, which is an everlasting government. So we'll never have to worry about war and oil again. And the sad thing is that, as I'm going to prove in this video, is that all this is unnecessary, because this oil is what currently is the main thing that keeps the so-called white man in power and wealthy. All right, because and all the things that he's doing to the earth with the chemtrails, with global warming and all that other stuff, and he's clearly destroying the earth, and none of that is even necessary, because they could run all engines on water. All fuel stations, all cars, all vehicles could actually be ran on water. Stan Meyer proved that. And then there are plenty of videos just on YouTube with water fuel generators being run by water. I'm going to show you some examples of that. But before we get into that, I'm going to read this scripture, and I'll probably read it now and then read it at the end. But this is Revelation 11:18, and it reads, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give a reward unto thy servants the prophets and the saints, and fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." All right, so while the prophets of the Lord are going to be rewarded for exposing Christopher Green and his Edomite brethren, the prophets of the Lord are going to be rewarded while these guys get destroyed. And they truly are destroying the earth. All right. But let's let Christopher Green talk for a moment. Because the saber rattling and Ezekiel 38 is playing out right before our eyes. All right. Gog and Magog is going to be a guard unto Iran. All right. Unto the Persians. And the Esau Edom is going to lead us into this third world's war, and the prophecies of the phony, fraudulent Israelis being at the root of it. It said the least of the flock shall draw them out. That's exactly what's happening. Over this oil in the Golden Heights, the least of the flock is drawing everyone into this third world's war.
You're watching AMTV Alternative Media Television. Please take a moment. This is absolutely dire that you share this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, get it to as many friends as family as possible. Again, they don't want you to know the truth. And also make sure you click the bell, otherwise you'll never get another single video. That way you stay in our subscription feed. We have some major breaking developments.
And that's true, because the funny thing is, I have to mention before I allow Christopher to continue, is that when I was searching for this video, I searched for it in the roundabout way where I mentioned his name and the things, and in the search engine, none of his videos, none of as many, AMTV probably has thousands of videos up, and not one of them popped up. Not one. Only thing popped up was mainstream. So this whatever this is that I forget the name, the verbiage that they're using. But if you don't know the name of the video to the exact, down to the iota, to the dot, to the tittle, in a lot of cases it won't pop up anymore in the search feed. All right? Because what they're doing is they're keeping videos like this that have pertinent information. There's one thing I can say that I have to commend Christopher Green on, and people like him, is that they put up relevant, real, true, and needful information. And that's not what you're going to get from Esau Edom, from the rest of them, from the mainstream media, that is. You're not going to get that from them at all. All right?
Out of the United States federal government and the Trump administration.
Our goal has been to get countries to cease importing Iranian oil entirely. Last November, we granted exemptions from our sanctions to 7 countries and to Taiwan.
Question is why?
Of our allies and partners to wean themselves off of Iranian oil and to assure a well-supplied oil market. Today, I'm announcing that we will no longer...
So what this devil's admitting, that it's all about oil. And like I said, they could be doing this with water. It goes to show you the corruptness, the wickedness of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And I love it when they wear white shirts, because it just helps prove the cause. If you look at his face as compared to his shirt, all right, you can clearly see that they're not white. Remember, that white thing is a made-up social construct from 1681. They labeled themselves with that. It's a social construct, just like they're trying to geoengineer society today and the weather. They geoengineered a race and races, all right? And they self-proclaimed themselves as white in 1681 in Virginia. Facts.
grant any exemption. We're going to zero across the board. We will continue to enforce sanctions and monitor compliance. Any nation or entity interacting with Iran should do its diligence and err on the side of caution. The risks are simply not going to be worth the benefits.
Now, when I say this, I know it's not popular. Okay, it's not my goal to be popular, win a high school contest for the coolest kid in town. My job here at Alternative Media Television is to tell you the truth. And also, I need you to understand this is bigger than Donald J. Trump. It is bigger than the president that I support, that we support, that we helped to elect to commander-in-chief during the last election, and also whom we fully support in 2020. In fact, I think Donald Trump will win in a landslide unless the radical left throws a wild card into the mix, and I still have not ruled.
And see, that's what I mean. This guy thinks that President Trump is going to get another election, man, and that America is going to go on forever. And you know, that's the thought and the mindset of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. They can't foresee. You know, he sees that America is falling, but he doesn't see that his people are falling right along with it. All right, but this is Psalms 49:11, and it reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and that their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." You know, Greece, Rome, Africa, etc. Because all three of those places that I just named were named for the namesake of so-called white man. So for all you Afrocentric people, Africa is named after a so-called white man named Africanus.
Pulled out them introducing Michelle
And then they show
Obama
her right
as a
after I say
potential
that.
candidate, even though she says that she's not going to run. or it could even be somebody like Oprah, because we are in kind of this like unreality
The
show that is America
Hey.
today, and this
Hey, the nigger woman, not the Israelite woman, because 2/3 of the Israelite women are nigger women, are the pit bulls for Esau Edom. Women like Michelle Obama and Oprah. Oprah is the biggest Auntie Tom that could ever be, man. She loves her oppressor.
this is what we're dealing with. And the current landscape of Democratic candidates just sucks, and they have no chance of winning, in my humble opinion. But that is not the crux of today's story. The crux of today's story is Iran, and a major announcement by Secretary Mike Pompeo that there will no longer be more waivers referring to Iranian oil exports, and they are attempting to force Iranian oil exports to absolute critical zero. These are the words of Mike Pompeo. His goal to cease, and I'm paraphrasing a bit, Iranian oil exports completely, which means the 8 or so countries, including Taiwan, that they gave waivers to temporarily to kind of get off the teat of Iranian oil is going away. And they are forcing a radical move to bring Iran to its knees and completely, this is the attempt, collapse its economy. Now, we've seen recently in the last...
Which means people are going to starve and they're going to die. So when they talk about humanitarian and all this other crap, they don't give a damn about no people. They want to use this dirty, filthy oil which pollutes instead of clean water technology, because that's what allows them to be super rich and have control over the other nations. So they smothered this information about this clean energy. But what they don't realize is that this is going to lead up to this third world war. It's gonna this thing is happening, man. It's already happening. All right. Like I said, the pieces are being moved around on the chessboard. And now what's about to happen is that they're running out of spaces, and the pawns, which are all these small nations and skirmishes, you're running out of pawns, and the big players are about to start engaging, man. This is what's going down. This is Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaw, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with sorts of armor, even a great company of bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So all these missile defense systems are being set up, armies are being shifted into place, allies are being shifted into place. Both America and Russia both have batteries and capabilities of attacking each other's countries from close by and neighboring countries. This thing is about to go down, man. Things are getting serious, and it just goes to show you that none of this has to. Well, it's all prophecy, but I'm just pointing out the fact that the so-called white man is full of shit, because he has the ability to do this off clean energy, man. But another thing that all this oil and stuff does is it also is helping to bring forth, how they had on the what was it, those stones in I believe it's in Georgia. You know how they want to bring the Earth's population down to 500 million. That's what they want, and just keep enough of those people alive to be forced labor is basically what all they're gonna be, to be the worker bees for the elites, because they want the earth to themselves. The King Alpha program was basically is a program to exterminate Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans. Look it up for yourself. The Rex 84, and I believe Rex 84 added Latinos and Natives to it just not that long ago, a couple years ago. Why? Because as soon as it started coming out that they and the Negroes are together, the Israelites, all of a sudden they got added to that list of extermination, because the Latinos and Natives weren't on it before. But now you're having this mass awakening, and they've been added to that. So the King Alfred program and the Rex 84 program are programs to get rid of the undesirables, and the main undesirables that they want to get rid of are the children of Israel, which is so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans collectively. All right. But let's click to another video. Let's change this up a little bit. And Stan Meyer, water car inventor killed. No, this dude was murdered, man. Let's play a little bit.
It's a major breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists happy. And as Ralph Robinson explains, the Pentagon is also showing lots of interest in this project.
Now, the rumor is that he was offered $1 billion for his for this information, for this technology, and then he came up dead shortly, not long after. All right, but let's let a little bit of it play.
Water has always been considered a precious commodity, but Stan Meyer's invention may make it even more valuable. He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, then use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
Meyer started working on this project 4 years ago. He's not a scientist. He isn't even a chemist. In fact, he never graduated from college. Myers was determined, he says, to design something to protect this country from oil embargoes.
So, you know, it's clear that he had lived through the oil embargo of the, you know, I think that was of the 70s when it happened, in the late to mid 70s. And, you know, he started playing around with, you know, I'm sure he was good in school in chemistry, and you know, and he started playing around with all this stuff that he had been given, and he came up with the way to use what he was taught and the information that was available, and he decided, well, what if I could just run the engine off water and not have to use oil? And he did. And do you think that America took to that? No, they didn't. You imagine the amount of lives that didn't have to die, the amount of oil spills that didn't have to happen, all the destruction from all this oil. Okay, because Esau thinks he plays with science like a kid with firecrackers, man. And then what happens every 4th of July? Somebody ends up losing their fingers or something. But this is 1 Timothy 6:20. And it says, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely called. And that's just it. Esau always tries to use science to outwit the Most High or get around the ordinances that were set up in the Bible, man. Because it said that, you know, everything was given to us that we needed here on earth. All right, and the oil is basically the blood of the earth, man. And you know, the Bible talks about, because the earth is a living organism, man. That's why life comes out of it: the grass, the trees, the plants, the fruit. All right, and the thing that we gave to fuel us, the life that came out of it, was water. But they want to take the actual blood out of the earth, man, which is the oil, man. All right, and the earth is sick and it's fighting back. Well, that's the Most High doing that. That's why you got these crazy weather patterns that playing with their harp on top of that. But you know, you got all this craziness going on, which is completely and totally unnecessary. But Esau Edom won't leave that science alone, man, which is some wicked, wicked things, man. All right, because what? Because Esau Edom was given power to take peace from the earth, man. As a matter of fact, let's get that. This is Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat upon it. All right, let's check out let me see if I can pull that up before we go forward. Water powered generator. Or water fuel, okay. How about that? There we go. All right. But through this oil technology, peace has been taken out of the earth, man. Because the fight and things for this oil, but peace has been taken. That's one of the ways Esau has taken so much peace out of the earth, because so many people, so much death, so much destruction has been as a result of fighting over this oil, which doesn't even have to be used for fuel.
Can you make water explode? Well, maybe not water per se, but with a simple technique, we can turn one of the most abundant materials on Earth into a highly explosive gas. In this project, we're building a generator that uses electricity to convert this into this.
You see that?
For this project, we're going to need some stainless steel. I'm at a local fabrication company, and not only do they have plenty of scrap metal to choose from, they're even willing to help me cut it to custom sizes. A job that would have taken me hours with a pair of tin snips and a hacksaw only takes a matter of minutes with their equipment. This is 20 gauge stainless steel, and this hydraulic punch is being used to cut precise holes in the tops and bottoms of the plates. When finished, I have 12 plates measuring 3 inches by 6 inches, 4 plates at 1.5 by 6 inches, and 3 1-inch connector bands that are 6 inches, 4.5 inches, and 3 1/4 inches. A belt sander is perfect for smoothing down the jagged edges around the hole, and now it's time to head home and get to work. We'll need these 4-inch ABS cleanout fittings, 3/8 inch poly tubing, as well as some scrap 4-inch and 2-inch acrylic tubing I found at a plastics company.
So there you go, man. And with that, what he created was a water fuel generator. All right, and you saw the demonstration of the power that it could, and that power could be used to propel engines, to work engines that generate power, electricity, movement, etc., etc. Right? But and it's clean energy. But Esau is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And he is damned, and he's that third of man who's going to be destroyed as a result of it. This is our Revelation 9:15, and it says, "And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year to slay the third part of man." Verse 16, "And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, and I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone, and by these was a third part of men killed by fire and by smoke and by brimstone, which issue out of their mouths." Man, the Lord is going to send those arrows from one end of the earth to another to exterminate the Edomite here in America. All right, which are the worst set of Edomites on the planet, man. Hands down, no argument, no question. Okay? They're going to be, and as a result of that, the so-called white man, who is Esau Edom, is going to be brought out of power. That's what's going to happen. All right? It's a lot in between, but we know the end of the story, man. All right? And those arrows with your ICBMs, the Lord is going to commandeer them and guide them to where he wants to. So he's pushing to get there, which is why I think Esau Edom, because they watch these videos, has been hesitant to do that. But the Lord is putting the spirit on them, and they can't help themselves. All right? And as soon as they do it, he's going to commandeer them and guide them to where he wants them to go. And if you don't believe that, then, that's on you. But this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. And it reads, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." So this Esau's time is up. Call halal Yahweh B'Shem Abishai B'Shem Rakak Wadash Wa Abba Babal.